Why it sucks to be born as Steve Jobs. You are worth $10 billion. You just changed the music industry. You just changed the phone industry. You are about to change everything else. People line up outside stores for days just to buy something you made. They call you a genius. They call you a visionary. They put your face on magazine covers like you are some kind of god. And you have terminal cancer, and you found out about it 8 years ago. And for the first year, you refused to treat it. This is why it sucks to be born as Steve Jobs. You were born on February 24th, 1955 in San Francisco, California. And before your life even begins, it falls apart. Your biological parents are two graduate students who are not ready for a baby. They give you up for adoption. You are 2 weeks old and you have already been abandoned once. Your adoptive parents are Paul and Clara Jobs. Paul is a machinist. Clara is an accountant. They are not wealthy. They are not famous, but they want you desperately. There is one small problem. Your biological mother had one condition before she would sign the papers. The adoptive parents must promise to send you to college. Paul and Clara agree. They have no idea what they are agreeing to. You grow up in Mountain View, California, right in the middle of what will one day be called Silicon Valley. Your dad, Paul, has a workbench in the garage. He takes apart electronics and puts them back together. He shows you how things work. He shows you that objects have a structure, a logic, and if you understand that logic, you can make them do what you want. You are absorbing all of this like a very small, very intense sponge. School is a different story. You are bored, not a little bored, profoundly, existentially bored. You play pranks. You cause problems. You tell your third grade teacher you will only do her assignments if she pays you. She actually pays you. By fourth grade, your teachers realize the pranks are not the problem. The problem is that nobody is challenging you enough. You test at a high school sophomore level. They want to skip you ahead 2 years. Your parents let them skip you 1. High school is worse. You are smart enough to be deeply unpopular and weird enough to make it worse. You are interested in electronics, Bob Dylan, and Eastern philosophy, a combination that does not make you very popular at parties. Actually, you are not invited to parties, but you meet Steve Wozniak, and that changes everything. Wozniak is 5 years older than you and already a genius with electronics. You are not a technical genius. You know this about yourself, but you have something Wozniak doesn't. You can see what something could become. You can see the product behind the circuit board. You register for Reed College in Oregon. Your parents spend their entire savings to send you there. You last 1 semester. You feel guilty spending their money on an education you are not sure about, so you drop out. But here is the thing. You don't leave. You sleep on floors. You return Coke bottles for change to buy food. You walk 7 miles across town every Sunday for a free meal at a Hare Krishna temple. And you sneak into classes you actually want. Calligraphy, a class about the design of letters. Completely useless. No practical application whatsoever. You take it anyway. 10 years later, that calligraphy class will be the reason the Macintosh has beautiful fonts. You eventually go to India. You are searching for something. Enlightenment, meaning, answers. You are not sure exactly what. You come back with a shaved head, a serious interest in Zen Buddhism, and no clearer answers than before. But something has crystallized. You know you want to build something. You just don't know what yet. 1976, you are 21 years old. You and Wozniak start Apple Computer in your parents' garage. Wozniak builds the machine. You sell it. The first Apple computer sells for $666. Not because of any dark significance. Wozniak just added a third to his cost, and that was the number that came out. Apple II launches in 1907. It is a phenomenon. By 1980, Apple goes public and you become a millionaire at 25, then a paper millionaire at 25, then worth over $200 million before you turn 30. You are on the cover of every magazine. You are the face of personal computing. You are young and rich and famous and completely insufferable to work with. Former colleagues describe you as a brilliant, creative, manipulative, occasionally cruel person who could convince you that impossible was possible and then make you feel worthless when you didn't achieve it fast enough. This is called the reality distortion field. It is both your superpower and your problem. In 1983, you hire John Sculley to be Apple's CEO. You personally recruit him by asking one question. Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or do you want to come with me and change the world? He comes. And in 1980, the board votes to remove you from the company you founded. John Sculley leads the vote. You are 30 years old. You have been fired from your own company. You drive home. You don't know what to do. You later say that felt like someone had removed your identity. You were Apple, and Apple had just told you it didn't want you anymore. You start a new company called Next. You spend 12 years and a fortune building these computers that almost nobody buys. Then you buy a small animation studio from George Lucas for $5 million. You think it might be interesting. That studio is Pixar. In 1995, Toy Story comes out, and Pixar becomes the most successful animation studio in history. You make over $1 billion. Meanwhile, Apple is dying. Without you, Apple has released product after product that nobody wants. The company is 90 days from bankruptcy. In 1997, Apple buys Next, mainly to get you back. You walk back into the company that fired you as the interim CEO. You look at everything Apple is making. It is a mess. Dozens of products, no focus, no vision. You cut everything, you keep 4 products. 4. And then you start building. iMac, iPod, iTunes, iPhone, iPad. Each one changes an industry. Each one is obsessed over at a level no technology product had ever been before. The line outside the store, the keynote is theater, the packaging as experience. You turn Apple into the most valuable company on earth. The same company that fired you at 30 years old. In 2003, you are diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. The doctors tell you it is operable. They tell you they can treat it. They tell you the survival rate is good if you act now. You don't act. For 9 months, you refuse surgery. You try fruit diets, acupuncture, herbal medicine, spiritual treatments. 9 months. By the time you agree to surgery, the cancer has spread. Nobody fully understands why one of the most logical minds of his generation made this particular decision. Your biographer says you applied your reality distortion field to your own body. You simply refused to accept that something could be wrong with you that you couldn't will away. You survive longer than expected. You give a famous speech at Stanford in 2005. Stay hungry, stay foolish. You launched the iPhone in 2007. You launched the iPad in 2010. You keep working, you keep building. You look thinner at every keynote. In August 2011, you resign as Apple CEO. On October 5th, 2011, you die at home surrounded by your family. You are 56 years old. You have 4 children. One of them, your eldest daughter, Lisa, you denied was yours for years. You let her and her mother live on welfare while you were worth hundreds of millions. You eventually reconcile. It takes most of her childhood. You built objects of extraordinary beauty. You changed how humans communicate, work, listen to music, and see the world. And you spent 9 months refusing to treat the cancer that killed you. The same irrational stubbornness that made Apple great is what cut your life short. So there it is, the real cost of being Steve Jobs. Given up for adoption at 2 weeks old. Dropped out of college and slept on floors, fired from the company he built, spent 12 years building something nobody bought, refused to treat cancer for 9 months, died at 56. And in between all of that, changed the world several times over. The same mind that gave us the iPhone refused to accept a doctor's diagnosis. The same vision that built Apple destroyed his relationship with his daughter. The same reality distortion field that inspired thousands of people was ultimately turned inward on himself. Was it worth it? He said yes. Right up until the end, he said yes. Still want to be Steve Jobs? Next time we're covering someone whose story is just as complicated. Subscribe so you don't miss it.